We're gonna go for the lead. And the lead, I just easily took a synthesizer that I use a lot. I'm gonna drag this melody we made by piano onto Novell lead main. And it's called this way because it's a lead that I developed for the record called Novell. And it starts from a simple silent one. I'm gonna mute all of these effects. And it's gonna sound very weird, and you know why? Because of that sustain pedal that I recommended you to buy. It is really handy and it really comes in really useful, but you have to make sure when you're playing digital tracks that you take it out, unless you do it with a very good purpose. So in order to do so, again, I'm double clicking this bar here, and as you can see, it opens up at the piano roll on the bottom, but I kind of want to take this out of this window, and to do so, you click Command and number 6. And if you have a different keyboard setup, then maybe it's a different command for you, but it's also accessible by going to Window, and then you click on the left top, you click on Piano Roll. Now to take away the sustain pedal or any form of modulation, select all of these notes, and at the left corner you'll see Automation and MIDI. And here you can click, and then you just select sustain, and then you can see where I actually hit the pedal with my foot. So I'm gonna just drag this out here so it's not in use anymore. Take away the little bar and bubble, and you're good to go. Now, as you can see, there is no lines in my MIDI, and there's nothing to see in the bars anymore but the melody itself. Same goes for the second part of the melody. I do the same thing. Sustain is already open. I drag it out here, and I delete those little bubbles, and you're good to go. It sounds a little dull if you have none of these effects on it, so I'm gonna add them back. Well, there's something happening here, and what you hear is a compressor that is set up for a sidechain but does not have a trigger. So I'm gonna just, for now, bypass this plugin. Now it's pretty high up, and we can also just lower it by transposing it at the left. So we can actually add a little bit more of reverb. Do you remember these sends that we made at the beginning of the course? I'm gonna go for a bus right now and select the reverb short. Okay, now we have our main lead. Don't think about the mix just yet. It's about selecting the right synths for a fundament of your song. We're gonna layer it up, stack it, and mix it a little better, put some reverb on it, maybe add some extra sidechain, so don't worry about the blend just yet. Make sure that you have the elements, and then you start building from there. So we have this one, and we can stack that up with a couple of different layers in order to make it sound a little bit more full. And you take your favorite like synths, or maybe Nexus, or I have my own little presets here that sounds that I used to use a lot, or that I saved because I like them the way they sit in the mix. For example, I'll take from Duality one of these Nexus presets. I'm not sure how it's gonna sound like, but we'll see in just a minute. I need to update my Nexus still, but oh, this actually has a really nice preset name. It's called One Beer. But let's see how it sounds like in the mix. Sounds like it's the same sound. But it's not. Well, that's one layer. Again, the mix is gonna come later. Let's just add another one and see maybe some, I don't know, Omnisphere. Has nice sounds. I always need to update Omnisphere though. You see, updates are available. Always, every time I open a plugin, I have updates available. Okay, now we have a different stack of sounds, and we all have our own little purpose, which we're gonna get into a little bit later. I'm gonna call this synth main, synth double, synth triple. Okay, now that the layering is going smooth is and like a layering is just like filling up the gaps in the EQ spectrum, which I'm going to talk about later on here in the course. But it is important that you have a couple of layers going on. Most of the time, just one layer is not enough. And you'll find out by just, trying it out, trial and error. You can add some layers, and sometimes it happens that layers by itself don't sound great, but it doesn't matter. It really is about how it sounds in the mix.